The distress signal Captain Elena Rodriguez stood in the observation deck of the human exploration vessel Pioneer's Dream, watching the stars drift past through the reinforced windows. The ship was 3 months into a deep space survey mission, mapping uncharted sectors near the galactic rim. Rodriguez was a veteran officer, 42 years old, with silver streaks in her black hair and calm brown eyes that had seen more of the galaxy than most humans ever would. The Pioneer's Dream was not a warship. It carried advanced sensors, scientific equipment, and a crew of 68 specialists whose job was to catalog new worlds and make peaceful contact with alien species. The ship had basic defensive systems, nothing more. Rodriguez preferred it that way. She believed that exploration should be about discovery, not conquest. Dr. Marcus Chen entered the observation deck carrying a steaming cup of coffee and a data pad. Chen was the ship's xenobiologist and lead diplomat, a thin man in his 30s with kind eyes behind wire-rimmed glasses. He had joined the mission hoping to make first contact with new species and build bridges between different civilizations. "Captain, we're getting some interesting readings from the Kepler 442 system," Chen said, settling into a chair beside Rodriguez. "Long-range sensors show at least 3 different ship configurations. Could be our first contact opportunity." Rodriguez nodded. First contact was always exciting, but it required careful protocols. One wrong move could turn a potential ally into an enemy. "What do we know about the system?" 7 planets, 2 in the habitable zone. The signals are coming from near the 4th planet. The ship designs don't match anything in our databases, but the energy signatures suggest they are not military vessels. Probably traders or explorers like us. Before Rodriguez could respond, the bridge communication system crackled to life. "Lieutenant." Commander Sarah Park's urgent voice filled the observation deck. "Captain, to the bridge immediately. We are receiving a distress signal." Rodriguez and Chen rushed to the bridge, where they found the crew working frantically at their stations. The main screen showed a tactical display with multiple contacts moving in the Kepler 442 system. Park, the ship's executive officer, turned to Rodriguez with a grim expression. "Captain, we are picking up what appears to be a battle in progress. One group of ships is under attack by a much larger force. The distress signal is being broadcast on multiple frequencies. Can we understand the message?" Rodriguez asked. Chen was already working at the communication station. "The Universal Translator is working on it. The language structure is similar to patterns we've seen from peaceful trading species. I think we are looking at merchants under attack." The bridge fell silent as Chen played the translated distress signal. An alien voice, high-pitched and desperate, filled the air. "This is Trade Master Zax High of the Catrarian merchant convoy. We are under attack by Grimlock Empire forces. 23 ships against our 3 vessels. We carry no weapons. We carry no military supplies. Please, any species within range, we need immediate assistance. Our defensive systems are failing." Rodriguez studied the tactical display. The numbers were sobering. 23 attacking ships against 3 defenders. The battle was clearly one-sided. "What do we know about the Grimlocks?" "Checking the database now," Park replied, her fingers flying over her console. "The Grimlock Empire is listed as a hostile species. They are known for aggressive expansion and attacking weaker civilizations. Most galactic species avoid their territory. They are described as ruthless and technologically advanced." Chen looked up from his station. "Captain, the Catrarians are sending additional information. They are peaceful traders who were carrying medical supplies and food to colonies in the Outer Rim. The Grimlocks attacked without warning or provocation." Rodriguez felt her jaw tighten. Attacking civilian ships carrying medical supplies was beyond military strategy. It was simple cruelty. She turned to her tactical officer, Lieutenant James Wright. "What's our combat readiness?" Wright was a young officer, barely 25, but he knew his systems. "Defensive shields at full power, point defense systems online. We have 6 torpedo launchers and basic energy weapons. Captain, we are an exploration vessel. We are not equipped for a major battle, especially not against 23 enemy ships. Numbers On the Grimlock vessels. Unknown configuration, but they appear to be military escorts and light cruisers. Definitely built for combat. Rodriguez walked to the center of the bridge, her mind racing. By all logical calculations, this was not their fight. The Pioneer's dream was alone, outnumbered, and outgunned. Standard protocol would be to record the incident and report it to Earth Command. Any reasonable captain would retreat and let the Catrarians face their fate, but Elena Rodriguez had not become a captain by following only the safe and reasonable path. She thought about the desperate voice in the distress signal, about medical supplies being destroyed while people somewhere needed them, about innocent traders being murdered for no reason other than they were weak. Dr. Chen, open a channel to the Catrarian ships, she ordered. Captain, Park said quietly, we should consider our options carefully. If we engage the Grimlocks, we might not survive to report what we've learned. Rodriguez nodded. I understand the risks. But sometimes the right choice isn't the safe choice. She turned to Chen. Channel open. Yes, Captain. You're connected to the Catrarian Trade Master. Trade Master Zaxai, this is Captain Elena Rodriguez of the human vessel Pioneer's Dream. We have received your distress signal and are moving to assist. There was a moment of silence before the alien voice responded, now filled with hope mixed with confusion. Human vessel, we are grateful for your offer, but our sensors show you are only one ship. The Grimlocks have 23 vessels. We do not wish for more beings to die for our sake. Rodriguez smiled grimly. Trade Master, you're about to learn something about humans. We don't abandon people who need help, and we don't do anything halfway. Stand by. She turned to her crew. All hands to battle stations. Helm, set course for the Kepler 442 system, maximum speed. Tactical, begin charging all weapon systems. Engineering, I want every bit of power you can give me. The bridge erupted into controlled activity as the crew prepared for battle. Rodriguez knew she was making a decision that could cost all their lives, but she also knew it was the right decision. The Pioneer's Dream might be just one ship, but it was a human ship, and humans had certain principles they lived by. As the ship accelerated toward the battle zone, Rodriguez opened a channel to the entire crew. This is the captain. In 15 minutes, we will engage a superior enemy force to protect innocent civilians. I won't lie to you, the odds are not in our favor. But we didn't come out here to the edge of space to play it safe. We came to explore, to make contact, and to represent the best of humanity. Today, we have a chance to show the galaxy what humans stand for. She paused, looking around the bridge at the faces of her officers. They were scared, but they were determined. We are going into battle. Not because we seek glory or conquest, but because people are dying and we have the power to help them. That's what makes us human. That's what makes us worth having in this galaxy. Dr. Chen was monitoring the communication channels. Captain, I'm picking up chatter from the Grimlock ships. They've detected our approach. What are they saying? The translation is rough, but they seem confused. One ship questioning another about human intentions. They are asking if we are allied with the Catrarians. Lieutenant Wright looked up from his tactical display. Captain, we are coming into weapons range. The Grimlock formation is spreading out to intercept us. It looks like they are treating us as a threat despite our numbers. Rodriguez studied the tactical display. The Grimlock ships were moving with military precision, but their formation showed they were accustomed to overwhelming weak opponents. They weren't expecting serious resistance. That might work in our favor, she murmured. Right, I want targeting solutions on their command ship. Chen, keep monitoring their communications. Park, prepare for evasive maneuvers. Asterisk. The Pioneer's Dream dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of the Kepler 442 system. Immediately, the tactical display lit up with contacts. The 3 Catrarian ships were clustered near the 4th planet, their shields flickering and failing under constant bombardment from the Grimlock fleet. My God, Chen whispered, staring at the display. They are not even fighting back. The Catrarian ships have no weapons at all. Rodriguez felt her anger surge. This wasn't a battle. It was a massacre. Right, lock onto the lead Grimlock vessel. Chen, open a channel to all ships in the system. Channel open, Captain. Rodriguez keyed the communication system, her voice carrying the authority of command. Grimlock vessels, this is Captain Elena Rodriguez of the human starship Pioneers. Dream. You will cease your attack on the Catrarian convoy and withdraw immediately. The response came quickly, transmitted in heavily accented but understandable English. Human vessel, you are in Grimlock territory. Withdraw immediately or be destroyed. You are one ship against our fleet. Your interference is meaningless. Rodriguez smiled coldly. You're about to learn that humans define meaningless differently than you do. Last warning, withdraw or face the consequences. Harsh alien laughter filled the communication channel. One small human ship threatens the mighty Grimlock Empire. You will be destroyed as an example to others who would interfere with our expansion. 3 Grimlock ships broke from the main formation and moved toward the Pioneer's Dream. Rodriguez watched them approach on the tactical display. They were coming in aggressively, obviously expecting easy victory. Captain, Wright reported, they are targeting our engines. Classic Grimlock tactic: disable, then board and capture. Let them come, Rodriguez said. All crew, prepare for combat. Show them what happens when you underestimate a human ship. The battle was about to begin, and the galaxy was about to learn that humans didn't fight by anyone else's rules. The human way of war. The first Grimlock ship opened fire with energy beams that lit up space like deadly lightning. Captain Rodriguez gripped her command chair as the Pioneer's Dream shook under the impact, but the ship's shields held. Lieutenant Wright's fingers danced across his tactical console as he returned fire with precise bursts from the ship's energy weapons. Direct hit on their forward shields, Wright reported. But Captain, their armor is thick. It's going to take time to penetrate. Rodriguez studied the tactical display as the other 2 Grimlock ships moved to flank them. The aliens were using standard military tactics, trying to surround and overwhelm their single opponent. But Rodriguez had not survived 15 years in deep space by fighting standard battles. Helm, execute pattern Delta 7, she ordered. Right, target their sensor arrays, not their main hull. The Pioneer's Dream suddenly accelerated and rolled, confusing the Grimlock targeting computers. Instead of trying to match the alien ship's firepower, Wright followed orders and aimed for the more vulnerable sensor equipment. His shot struck home, leaving the lead Grimlock ship partially blind. Excellent work, Rodriguez said. Chen, any word from the Catrarians? Dr. Chen was monitoring multiple communication channels while helping coordinate the battle. Trade Master Zaxhai is asking how we are surviving against 3 Grimlock ships. I think they are amazed we are still fighting. Tell them to stay close to the planet and keep their engines running. We might need to evacuate quickly. The second Grimlock ship fired a massive energy blast that overloaded the Pioneer's Dream's port shields. Sparks flew from control panels as the ship rocked violently. Engineer Chief Tom Sullivan's voice came through the intercom from the engine room. Captain, I can keep the shields up, but not for long. We need to end this fight fast. Rodriguez made a decision that would have shocked most military commanders. Instead of retreating or trying to outlast the enemy, she ordered the ship to accelerate directly toward the largest Grimlock vessel. Captain, what are you doing? Park asked, her voice tight with concern. Something they won't expect, Rodriguez replied calmly. Right, prepare all torpedo tubes. We are going to ram their formation. The Grimlock ships, accustomed to enemies who fled when faced with superior numbers, were caught completely off guard. The Pioneer's Dream charged straight at them, weapons blazing. At the last second, Rodriguez ordered a hard turn that brought them across the bow of the lead enemy ship at point-blank range. Fire everything! Rodriguez shouted. 6 torpedoes and every energy weapon the ship possessed fired simultaneously into the Grimlock vessel's weakened shields. The alien ship's front section exploded in a brilliant fireball that lit up the entire system. The explosion was so close that the Pioneer's Dream's hull groaned under the stress, but they survived. 1 down, 22 to go, Wright reported. Grimly, but the destruction of their lead ship had an unexpected effect on the Grimlock fleet. Instead of pressing their attack, they pulled back into a defensive formation. Dr. Chen was listening to their communications with growing excitement. Captain, they are arguing among themselves. The fleet commander is demanding to know how one human ship destroyed a Grimlock cruiser. They are calling us Deathworlders and saying we fight like demons. Rodriguez allowed herself a small smile. Good. Fear is a weapon too. Open a channel to all Grimlock ships. Channel open, Captain. Grimlock fleet, you have seen what one human ship can do. You have lost one vessel and gained nothing. I offer you one final chance to withdraw. Leave this system now, and no more of your ships need to die. The response was immediate and furious. Human scum. You will pay for destroying our ship. The entire fleet will focus on you. You cannot defeat us all. Rodriguez sighed. Dr. Chen, send a message to Earth Command. Priority Alpha emergency signal. Tell them we are engaging a hostile alien fleet in the Kepler 442 system and request immediate military support. Asterisk. Captain, Park said quietly, Earth Command is 8 days away at maximum speed. We can't hold out that long against 22 ships. I know, Rodriguez replied. But we are not just buying time for ourselves. We are buying time for the Contrarians. And showing the galaxy that humans don't abandon their principles when things get difficult. The entire Grimlock fleet began moving toward them, abandoning their attack on the defenseless Contrarian ships. Rodriguez realized that her strategy was working. The aliens were so focused on destroying the single human ship that had humiliated them, they were ignoring their original targets. Trademaster Zaxai, Rodriguez called over the communication channel, begin moving your ships away from the planet. Head for the outer system. We'll keep them busy. The Contrarians' response was filled with emotion. Captain Rodriguez, you are sacrificing your ship for strangers. This is not logical behavior. Maybe not, Rodriguez admitted, but it's human behavior. Take your people and go. Make sure someone remembers what happened here. The next few hours were the longest of Rodriguez's career. The Pioneer's Dream fought a running battle against overwhelming odds, using every trick in the book and several that weren't. They hid in asteroid fields, used the gravity of planets to slingshot around enemy formations, and turned the system's own geography into weapons. Chief Engineer Sullivan worked miracles in the engine room, keeping the ship running with spare parts and determination. Dr. Chen coordinated with the fleeing Contrarians while maintaining communication with Earth. Lieutenant Wright proved that exploration ships could fight just as hard as dedicated warships when the crew was motivated. But the ship was taking damage. Hull breaches were sealed with emergency force fields. The medical bay filled with injured crew members. The shields were failing and ammunition was running low. Captain, Park reported during a brief lull in the fighting, we've lost 30% of our weapons systems and the hull is compromised in 6 sections. We can't take much more punishment. Rodriguez nodded grimly. They had fought well, but mathematics was catching up with them. 21 Grimlock ships were still operational and the Pioneer's Dream was barely functioning. Then Chief Sullivan's voice crackled over the intercom with news that changed everything. Captain, I'm picking up massive energy signatures on long-range sensors. Multiple ships dropping out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of the system. Rodriguez felt her heart skip. How many ships, Chief? You're not going to believe this. I count 47 vessels, all showing human energy signatures. It's the entire Third Fleet battle group. Dr. Chen was staring at his communication console in amazement. Captain, I'm receiving a message from Admiral Sarah Mitchell aboard the battleship Indomitable. She says, and I quote, no one attacks our people and lives to tell about it. The tactical display suddenly filled with new contacts as the human fleet spread out across the system. These were not exploration vessels. These were warships, battleships, cruisers, destroyers, and support vessels designed for one purpose: to fight and win battles. Admiral Mitchell's voice filled the bridge of the Pioneer's Dream. Captain Rodriguez, this is Admiral Mitchell. You and your crew have performed magnificently. Now let us show these Grimlocks what happens when you threaten humans. The Grimlock fleet, which had been confidently pursuing one damaged exploration ship, suddenly found themselves facing a force that outnumbered them 2-1. The alien communications channels erupted in panic as they realized their situation had completely reversed. Human fleet, came a desperate transmission from the Grimlock commander. We were engaged in a local dispute. We had no knowledge these were your allies. We withdraw immediately. Admiral Mitchell's response was cold and final. Negative, Grimlock fleet. You attacked innocent civilians and fired on a human vessel. There are consequences for that behavior. Surrender now, or be destroyed. What followed was not a battle. It was a demonstration. The human fleet moved with precision and overwhelming force, systematically destroying or capturing every Grimlock ship. The aliens' superior numbers meant nothing against human military technology and tactics designed for exactly this kind of engagement. Within 2 hours, the Grimlock threat was eliminated. The few surviving enemy ships were allowed to escape. With a message for their empire, attacking human allies meant facing all of humanity. As the battle ended, Rodriguez stood on her bridge surrounded by her exhausted but victorious crew. The Pioneer's dream was barely functional, but they had accomplished something remarkable. They had saved the Catrarian convoy and shown the galaxy that humans would fight for strangers. Trademaster Zaxhi's voice came over the communication channel, filled with awe and gratitude. Captain Rodriguez, Admiral Mitchell, on behalf of all Catrarians, we thank you. You risked everything for people you had never met. We do not understand this behavior, but we honor it. Admiral Mitchell responded from her flagship. Trademaster, you're about to learn something about humans. We don't just defend ourselves, we defend anyone who stands with us. The Catrarian people are now under the protection of humanity. Any attack on your ships will be considered an attack on human vessels. Dr. Chen was monitoring alien communication channels throughout the sector. Captain, Admiral, you need to hear this. The news of this battle is spreading across the galaxy. 12 different species are requesting meetings with human diplomats. They want to discuss mutual defense agreements. Rodriguez smiled as she looked out at the stars. The Pioneer's dream had come to this system to explore and make peaceful contact. They had accomplished both goals, though not in the way anyone had expected. Admiral, Rodriguez said, I think we just changed the balance of power in this sector of the galaxy. Indeed we did, Captain. And we did it the human way by standing up for what's right, regardless of the odds. As the combined human fleet began rescue operations and diplomatic contacts, word spread throughout the galaxy. The humans had arrived not as conquerors, but as protectors. Any species that valued peace and cooperation could find safety under human protection. But those who preyed on the weak would face the full might of humanity. The galaxy was learning that when humans made friends, they made them for life. And when humans went to war, they didn't go alone, they brought everything they had.